Hello everyone, I'm Kevin, otherwise known as Forum BX257, your friendly neighborhood 1980s and 90s G.I. Joe toy reviewer. And this video will basically be a channel update video, just basically saying what I plan to do for the year. And I do kind of rely on your comments and suggestions and even refinements to my suggestions on what I'm going to be planning on doing for the rest of the year. As well as, later on in this video, a haul video which encompasses everything that I bought for the 2017 year, which you may or may not have seen yet. Now, first of all, I'd like to say that the channel is doing well. and one of the reasons why I want to say that is because I know a lot of people have actually been asking about YouTube's strange policies just sort of changing kind of mid-year. To be honest, they always do that. YouTube always messes around with their own formulas and makes everything so much more difficult for people who are trying to earn a living on YouTube. Fortunately, I'm not earning a living on YouTube. I'm not a YouTuber as such. So I do have a 9-to-5 job, and while I do have ads on the videos which do generate money, obviously, that money goes directly into the hobby itself. So a lot of the toys that you see here are financed by your views, so thank you for that, not YouTube. Speaking of expenses, I believe last year I was planning on doing, in conjunction with a well-known YouTube channel, a top 10 most valuable G.I. Joe toys list. And that video just sort of fell through. There were a lot of creative differences, let's just say. I won't say anything more about that, to be honest. They seem like really nice folks, and I don't want to cast any, shade on them because they honestly don't deserve it. The thing is that I actually made a mock-up video, which was pretty much basically complete for them. But it's still mock-up, pictures are still a bit fuzzy, audio is a bit bad, but I still made that video for them. And whether or not they use the information is up to them, but they're not going to use the video. So I was actually wondering, asking you whether you want to actually just see it or not. Because I don't think I'll put it on my channel. I think I might just leave it as an unlisted video and maybe just put a link down below or something like that. So let me know your thoughts if you just want to see it or not. Oh, and going back to YouTube shenanigans, if everyone remembers, back in 2012, I was actually having a lot of trouble uploading my stuff to YouTube. And that's because of some error on their part. And quite frankly, it took them up until 2016 to actually reply to me and actually help me fix my channel. Between 2012 and 2015, I was actually trying on my own to fix the problem, which obviously I did because those videos are up on YouTube. The problem is that they aren't in HD and they don't have the funny little play scenes at the very end. Those would have been exclusive to Blip TV, which had no problem uploading my videos. Now, obviously, Blip TV is no longer around, so what I plan on doing is taking those somewhat longer HD videos with the play scenes at the end and putting them on Daily Motion. I've actually already started doing that. Now, the thing is that I could totally upload those here to YouTube, but I don't want the confusion because obviously, like, the shorter non-HD versions are already here and are already, generating views, and people already have them in playlists and things like that. So I just don't want the confusion happening by uploading a second one with like the same content but just a little bit longer. So, but if anyone is interested in how they were originally meant to be presented, you can go over to Daily Motion and check those out. Besides, if I do upload longer HD versions of reviews I've already done, I might as well do brand new videos of them. I've started to do that already, every now and again, like the recent Flint and Lady J reviews. Next, I need your opinion on these next two matters. The first is, how should I do cartoon reviews? Now, I don't believe I can do them here on YouTube. And one of the reasons for that is because I've already done cartoon reviews and they've already been taken down. Now, those were primarily of the 1980s Sunbow animation reviews, and they did not contain any motion video. They were all just screen caps. sometimes with text over them, and mostly with my voice over them. So I'm not quite sure what was wrong with them. It wasn't a YouTube problem. I believe it was directly a Hasbro problem. It might have been the fact that the length of my reviews were kind of long and might have shown up as maybe illegal uploads of entire episodes. I'm not quite sure. And it was also at the same time that Hasbro was uploading their Sumo Animation G.I. Joe cartoons to Netflix at the same time. So that might have been a motivating factor for them to get rid of any illegal things. And they might have just gone overboard and just saw my videos and said, well, no, I don't think so. But anyway, I need your opinion on how to actually do the reviews. The old ones I did was just sort of very point for me, saying like, oh well, this was weird and this was wonderful per episode, and I'm thinking I don't really want to do it that way. I think that doing it more like my comic book reviews, which Marvel Comics and IDW seem absolutely fine with, I might do them like that. But if you want more humor, if you want, I don't know, more personal anecdotes in there, I don't know. I just want to know what your opinion on is what that is. I might upload them specifically to Dailymotion, or they might not even be video reviews. I might actually review them as written form on my Facebook channel instead. That's another option. Next is how I'm going to do Battle Force 2000. Last year, I asked you, the viewers, to vote on whether you'd like to see one giant 40-plus minute review or 7 separate reviews released over 2 months. Some of you suggested alternatives and reminded me that I forgot an 8th subject, the combined Future Fortress. So here is my revised plan for reviewing the Battle Force 2000 line. 2 vehicles and 2 drivers per video to be released over only 1 month, a schedule inspired by your suggestions and tested with my Sky Patrol series reviews. This also means I only have to do 4 stop-motion endings. What do you think of this solution? Every year, I tend to add a large, expensive toy to my G.I. Joe toy collection, but this year I'd spent that money on this, the 1990 Sky Patrol Sky Raven. I got a really good deal on it, so I passed on what was originally supposed to be the 1987 Mobile Command Center, which I was really looking forward to buying and reviewing at some point. Obviously, this meant, along with Sky Dive, shown here, that I could actually complete my Sky Patrol series of toys and actually review it this year. Something that I was actually planning that slot for Battle Force 2000. And this is also the year in which I bought the Arctic Blast with Windshield, so he wound up being the tail end of my reviews for 2017. Now on to the hauls that you haven't seen yet. And speaking of Battle Force 2000, here's my lineup of this year's Battle Force 2000 vehicle purchases, with the Pulverizer, the Vector Jet, and the Vindicator hovercraft in the background. They're not quite cleaned up, so I haven't put the figures in them. I actually completed my figure series for Battle Force 2000 last year. One of the reasons why this is taking me so long is actually because I've been purchasing these locally. They actually turn up fairly regularly at toy shows here in Canada, so I don't really have that much of an incentive to rush out and buy them as soon as I see them. Here's a pair of vehicles which I got this year, but have actually completed rather quickly, so I was able to actually put them in the background of some of my review videos. So you might have seen these already in the stop-motion portions of some review videos. But that's the 1990 Hammer, as well as the 1987 Cobra Maggot with its driver, Worms. They both have fairly hard parts to find if you're looking to actually find them incomplete and restore them, like I did. But I was actually fairly lucky to find them relatively intact with the hard parts with the vehicles. And to start off my figure hauls, we have the wacky version 4 Snake Eyes from 1991 with his neon weapons, rather glowing under this video. And of course, one of my top 10 picks for awesome G.I. Joes from the 1990s, the Cobra Desert Scorpion. And here we have yet another 1991 figure. I seem to be actually completing my 1991 series of figures here. The Navy SEAL Tracker. This was a highly requested figure. Of course, I'm sure that some of those requests are just anticipating me dropping this thing in the water just to see whether it floats or not. Here is the Cobra Flamethrower, the 1991 Incinerators. It was fairly difficult to get with the catapult complete, even though I have shown him in the past, I think as an opposite number to the 1988 Charbroil figure in his review. And here's a figure from 1991 which I never thought I would get, but it's mostly again due to viewer suggestions, and that is the Soviet-era Red Star. I went and bought the 1992 Big Bear to go along with them, and they actually do make a really good pair. They're really well done figures, I have to admit. And if you're wondering whether I'd get into the 1993 Battlecore stuff, the answer is yes, but very, very little. Here's the 1993 Snowstorm, the blue variant, as well as an orange variant. Now I don't have these figures complete, but they're really, really easy to complete. They're fairly cheap on the aftermarket. Now on to my last two surprise vehicle purchases. Well, as you can see, I wasn't being exactly honest when I said that I didn't have any large G.I. Joe purchases. This is a fairly large vehicle, 1988 Bug, with its driver, the Secto Viper. And this vehicle actually took me a while to complete because I had bought it in parts which I thought would have been useful, but as it turns out the parts were actually damaged internally, which of course I couldn't see at the time of purchase. So as luck would have it, I actually bought a second parts lot which I completed and fixed up this vehicle. So it's actually now 100% complete, it's just that I lost a few hairs because of it. And for the surprise purchase of 2017 was this 1991 motorized battle wagon, a vehicle which was often requested, but I was really not really into this big, bulky Tonka toy-like vehicle. But I found a good price for it, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll try it out, and I have to admit, I am kind of liking it. Now, I have 3 figures on here, which are all vehicle drivers, and here's a fun little quiz. Can you name them? Well, that's all the time I have right now. Please check out my Facebook page for more information and behind-the-scenes photos for these reviews. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for next time to see another 1980s G.I. Joe toy review. See you then.